Okay, so this is a SureFire M900 910 series Asian market LED tactical weapon light. Now this is generally made for the Asian airsoft market, but I'm told from other sources that the Korean military also uses this. And its questions that are open whether or not this is a licensed version or copy or an unlicensed clone. I have not gotten any confirmed answers on that. What we do know is that it's got a slight reduction in features over the M900 series of this type, which are sold in the United States. The main loss in feature that you'll have here is that the 700 lumen kind of oversized LED is not focusable. You've got a very powerful straight beam on here, but if you turn there's no turning and focusing here. We do have, and it's hard for me to hold the camera in one hand and do this, but basically this pulls out spring loads and you can switch this over to a flash mode, which you're going to see in a demonstration part of this video. With the master switch on, we've got a secondary switch here which can have the main light just on all the time, or we can go with momentary with the side pads. Now, because this is an LED, you're going to have a lot better battery life than you would with the xenon lamp SureFire lights, but this section will unscrew, so you could put on different types of light heads on here. But the 700 lumen LED pretty much is the upgrade one. You wouldn't really be upgrading from this. What we also have is a couple of small, oops, you can see how bright that is, and I'll tell you what, in some environments it's almost like looking at a welding flash. We also have two small LEDs here. Now these are called the Navigator Lights. These aren't really for illuminating things at a distance, and what it is we've got another pressure pad at the back for activating those navigation lights. On the US military versions of this light, those can be set to IR. Okay, so that's what you would be using with night vision equipment. You can't put an IR filter very efficiently on an LED. You can put it on these kind of, even though this is LED, we can play around a little bit with an IR filter. On the little things like here, that's not likely to happen. So this is pretty much going to be, you know, white light, security or rating or something like that. Not very night vision compatible. I've heard these are in use by a few different Asian militaries and outside the United States. I wouldn't see any reason for this not to be used by a law enforcement or militia group or private purchase by a U.S. military member, but realize you're not going to get the warranty support that you would get from SureFire for U.S. market stuff. But it has all the appearance of being pretty robust. In fact, it's beefy enough that I think I'm going to torture test one of these and really see how it takes some punishment, because everything on this seems to be gasketed, heavy duty, really good stuff. The locking mechanism actually is a little plunger thing right here. So we would loosen it like that. Pretty complex, but it would make this thing nice and tight. It also makes it very secure that if you mount it forward on a rail system, that it can hang over the edge. It only needs to lock back here. And as far as our controls go, if you train and use one of these and then you come across an authentic or US market SureFire light, none of the controls are going to be so significantly different that you're retraining. Although what you'll have is when you pop this little ring out and rotate this between the flash mode and the solid on mode, the higher end SureFire ones will have an infrared setting for that, which this does not. Pricing on these is all over the map right now, and we have to realize that on some, not all M900 clones are created equal. Some of them go for like $30 to $50. This one right here is probably, if you can find them, are closer to $200. It's possible that they're either going to get pulled off the market or flood the market at any given time. You never know what's going to happen. But because the quality is so high and the price difference is so great compared to a $600 or $700 authentic SureFire, even as a clone, these are going to hover at around $200. Are they worth it? A lot of that's a matter of opinion, but I can tell you that the construction that goes into this is, you know, first class. It really is first class heavy duty construction. But if you got to have the real deal, you got to have the real deal, and it costs more money. As far as, you know, security use, anything like that, I think these are going to be good to go. When I noticed the little details, like somebody went and used a black silicone to fill in where the wires go through the little ports here, you know, maybe you could add a little more, but it looks like they went through the trouble of doing it. On cheaper clones, you're not going to see that. I'm seeing little logos and markings on the bolts and screws that are used here. They went through a lot of detail on this. So before I make the video too long, we're going to go outside and show you how it works outdoors. We've got a couple of different light settings on here. One is what we call the navigation light. This would be something like indoor use or maybe out in the woods where you really don't want to be lighting up a great big area, but you're walking somewhere. So here I'm walking. Now this is just two kind of bluish white LEDs on the front of the unit, and you can see how that's like that. Now you can inadvertently grip the light and then hit the bright one, right? Now what's happening is it's freaking the focus on the camera out because it's switching between a lot of light and not much. But let me tell you something, that's bright. We'll go outside and we're going to show a little bit more of that. Okay, so here we're outdoors in a park-like area. It's not really as dark as you would think from the camera. There's you know, a bit of light grayness to the sky. I think it's around 7 p.m. right now, and we're going to show this on the full power out here how far that reaches. Okay, now it's not night vision, it's just I'm shooting at green trees here, but we can actually, I mean, that's pretty powerful. I hear I'm shining up in a tree. That's relatively powerful. Now there's also a pulsing mode which will help save battery life. Let's see if we can change that. It's almost a two-handed thing because of the way the little ring works, and pretty positive locking. So let's see the pulsing mode. That's our pulsing mode. So I guess it's kind of good for getting somebody's attention, maybe saving the battery or something like that. A bit of signaling. You can see how it's lighting up the lights down the street, reflectors on vehicles pretty far down there, really, when you think about it. It's powerful. I mean, that's a light over there, a car. Pretty powerful as far as any weapon mount light goes. And it's an LED on there. So we'll talk more about this when we get back inside.